10 foods your dog should never eat. We treat our dogs like family, right? We want to give them the best of everything, including food. But sometimes what we think is a treat can actually be harmful to our furry friends. In this video, we're going to talk about 10 common foods that you should never feed your dog. We're talking about things you might not even realize are dangerous, things you might have in your pantry right now. Stick around until the end because I've got a special tip for you on how to make sure your dog is getting the best possible nutrition. Let's get started. Okay, let's start with the big one, chocolate. We all know it, we've all heard it, but it's so important we have to repeat it. Chocolate is toxic to dogs. It contains a compound called theobromine, which dogs can't metabolize as easily as humans can. The darker the chocolate, the more theobromine it contains, so dark chocolate is the most dangerous. Even white chocolate, while lower in theobromine, can still cause problems in large enough amounts. What happens if a dog eats chocolate? It can cause symptoms from vomiting and diarrhea to increased thirst and urination, panting, restlessness, and hyperactivity. In severe cases, it can lead to seizures, heart problems, and even death. Make sure your trash cans are secure too. Be careful with things like chocolate cake, cookies, or any desserts containing chocolate. Resist the urge to share your chocolate treats. Give them a healthy dog treat instead. Keep chocolate out of your dog's reach, and if you suspect they've ingested any, contact your veterinarian immediately. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Next up, we have grapes and raisins. These might seem harmless, even healthy, right? But for dogs, they can be extremely dangerous. The scary part is, we don't even know exactly what it is in grapes and raisins that's so toxic to dogs. Some dogs might eat a few and be perfectly fine, while others can experience severe reactions after just a small amount. That's why it's best to treat grapes and raisins like chocolate completely off limits. Ingestion of grapes or raisins can lead to sudden kidney failure in dogs. Symptoms might not show up immediately, but when they do, they can include vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, lethargy, increased thirst and urination, and abdominal pain. Grapes and raisins are often found in baked goods, trail mixes, and even some cereals. Be extra vigilant about reading labels and keeping these foods well out of your dog's reach. If you ever suspect your dog has ingested grapes or raisins, contact your veterinarian immediately. Early intervention is crucial in cases of potential grape or raisin toxicity. Now let's talk about onions and garlic. We love them in our food, but they're actually toxic to dogs, and it doesn't matter if they're raw, cooked, powdered, or dehydrated, they're all harmful. Onions and garlic contain compounds that can damage red blood cells in dogs, leading to a condition called hemolytic anemia. Symptoms of onion or garlic poisoning can include vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, lethargy, weakness, pale gums, rapid breathing, and increased heart rate. They can be hidden in a lot of things like sauces, soups, stews, even baby food. So always check the ingredients list of any human food you're considering sharing with your dog. It's better to be safe than sorry. Keep them safe by keeping onions and garlic out of their reach. Your dog's health and well-being are paramount. Avocado is another food that many people don't realize is toxic to dogs. While the flesh of the avocado itself is less toxic than other parts of the plant, it's still best to avoid giving any part of the avocado to your furry friend. Avocados contain a substance called persin, which can cause vomiting and diarrhea in dogs. The pit, skin, and leaves of the avocado plant contain the highest concentration of persin, but even the flesh can be problematic for some dogs. Symptoms of avocado poisoning can include vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, lethargy, and abdominal pain. When it comes to avocados and dogs, it's best to play it safe and keep them completely separate. Their health and well-being are more important than a moment of shared culinary indulgence. This one should go without saying, but we'll say it anyway. Alcohol is a big no-no for dogs. It might seem funny to give your dog a sip of your beer or a lick of your cocktail, but even small amounts of alcohol can be extremely dangerous for them. Dogs metabolize alcohol much differently than humans do, and even a small amount can lead to alcohol poisoning. Symptoms of alcohol poisoning in dogs can include vomiting, diarrhea, lack of coordination, disorientation, lethargy, weakness, tremors, seizures, difficulty breathing, and even coma. Keep your alcoholic beverages well out of reach of your furry friends and never be tempted to give them even a taste. Your dog's health and safety are paramount, and that means keeping them away from alcohol completely. Just like alcohol, caffeine is another stimulant that can be dangerous for dogs. Caffeine is found in coffee, tea, chocolate, energy drinks, and even some medications. It's a stimulant that can cause a rapid heart rate, restlessness, hyperactivity, tremors, vomiting, and even death in dogs. Dogs are much more sensitive to caffeine than humans, so even small amounts can be toxic. Symptoms of caffeine poisoning in dogs can include restlessness, hyperactivity, panting, tremors, increased thirst and urination, vomiting, diarrhea, elevated heart rate, and abnormal heart rhythm. In severe cases, caffeine poisoning can lead to seizures, collapse, and even death. Make sure to keep your coffee, tea, energy drinks, and any medications containing caffeine out of your dog's reach. Prevention is key. Keep caffeine away from your furry friend, and if you suspect they've ingested any, contact your veterinarian immediately. Macadamia nuts are another food that can be toxic to dogs. They can cause a range of symptoms from weakness and tremors to vomiting and hyperthermia, which is an elevated body temperature. The exact mechanism of toxicity is unknown, but it's thought that macadamia nuts contain a toxin that affects the nervous system in dogs. Symptoms typically appear within 12 hours of ingestion and can last for up to 48 hours. Symptoms of macadamia nut poisoning in dogs can include weakness, lethargy, tremors, ataxia, which is a lack of coordination, vomiting, diarrhea, hyperthermia, and depression. Even small amounts of macadamia nuts can be toxic to dogs. Keep macadamia nuts and any foods containing them, such as cookies, cakes, or trail mixes, well out of reach of your dog. Xylitol is a sugar substitute that is becoming increasingly popular. It's found in many sugar-free foods and drinks, as well as some medications and dental care products. While xylitol is safe for human consumption, it's extremely toxic to dogs. Even small amounts of xylitol can cause a rapid release of insulin in dogs, leading to a dangerous drop in blood sugar known as hypoglycemia. Symptoms of xylitol poisoning in dogs can include vomiting, weakness, lethargy, ataxia, which is a lack of coordination, collapse, tremors, seizures, and liver failure. In severe cases, xylitol poisoning can be fatal. Read labels carefully, especially on sugar-free gums, candies, desserts, and oral care products. If you suspect your dog has ingested xylitol, contact your veterinarian or an emergency animal hospital immediately. We all know dogs love bones, but did you know that cooked bones can be very dangerous for them? While raw bones are generally safe for dogs, cooked bones can splinter easily, causing serious injuries to your dog's mouth, throat, stomach, or intestines. When bones are cooked, they lose moisture and become harder and more brittle. This makes them more likely to splinter when chewed, which can lead to choking, internal bleeding, or blockages in the digestive tract. Symptoms of bone ingestion can include vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, abdominal pain, constipation, straining to defecate, and blood in the stool. The best way to avoid these risks is to avoid giving your dog cooked bones altogether. Stick to raw bones that are appropriately sized for your dog, and always supervise your dog when they're chewing on any type of bone. While a little bit of lean meat can be a healthy treat for dogs, fat trimmings from meat, as well as foods high in fat, can be dangerous. Large amounts of fat can upset your dog's stomach and lead to pancreatitis, a painful and potentially life-threatening inflammation of the pancreas. Symptoms of pancreatitis can include vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, lethargy, abdominal pain, dehydration, and fever. It's important to remember that dogs digest fat differently than humans do. When giving your dog meat, make sure it's lean and always given in moderation. Avoid giving your dog fatty scraps from the table, such as skin from chicken or turkey, or fatty trimmings from steak. A healthy diet is essential for your dog's overall health and well-being. Keep your dog safe and healthy. So there you have it, 10 common foods that you should never feed your dog. Remember, even if your dog has eaten something on this list before and seemed fine, it doesn't mean it's safe. If you're ever in doubt about whether something is safe for your dog to eat, err on the side of caution and don't give it to them. There are plenty of safe and healthy treats available that your dog will love just as much. Thanks for watching, and please share this video with your dog-loving friends and family. Let's work together to keep our furry friends safe and healthy. If you want more videos about how to take care of your furry friends, subscribe to our channel. Thank you.